Now that we've done a deep dive of the characters in Sex and the City, we are going to look deep into Carrie Bradshaw and Samantha Jones. And particularly, we're going to focus on the episode of the infamous Birkin bag. Welcome to the Style Archetype, where we decode the psychology of fashion. If you guys know anything about me, and if you follow me on other social platforms, you will know how I feel about the Birkin bag. Not the Birkin bag per se, but the game that people play to get a Birkin bag. And let's be clear, I am not mad at Birkin for creating this game. It's genius marketing, but I do have an issue with anyone willing to play the game. So first, we're going to take a deep dive into that episode, and then I'm going to tell you the Birkin game. And if you don't know what people have to do to get a Birkin bag, stay tuned, listen up. You're going to be shocked. The fact that a person has to beg a brand to give them money is crazy. We're going to get back to that though. In the Birkin episode, Samantha Jones is representing Lucy Liu. Samantha, wanting a Birkin bag, decides to go into Hermès and drop Lucy Liu's name to bypass the wait list. I think the wait list was about 5 years. Which, sidebar, you should never use your client's name to get something for yourself. It's a no-no. Here's where it gets interesting. Carrie Bradshaw, who's the fashionista, would never carry a Birkin bag. She also thought they were ugly.
The red one in the middle, I love it. The Birkin bag? Really? That's not even your style. Oh, honey, it's not so much the style as what carrying it means. It means you're out $4,000. Exactly. When I'm tooling around town with that bag, I'll know I've made it.
Birkin bags are just not something that a fashion it girl is going to want to carry, if you get what I mean. Samantha Jones, however, not a fashion it girl, not a fashion icon, but wanted the status symbol bag. So she, in her mind, felt like she needed to carry a Birkin. And I do understand that for her. In the rooms that she was in, no one cared about her being a fashion icon, but her showing up with a Birkin was very impressive. So Samantha was buying it for the status symbol. Carrie knew it wasn't a status symbol and didn't need validation from public, so didn't care to have one. Now that brings us to today. I don't care what anyone says. If you are playing the Birkin bag, you're doing it because you want the status symbol. It's not because you want the bag. Don't tell me it's because you just like it. Don't tell me that. We need to be honest with ourselves so we can understand why we do the things we do. So if you don't know the Birkin game, buckle up. I need to cross my arms for this one because it's kind of crazy.
No.
Here's what the internet will make you believe. You need to build up a profile with your essay. That means someone would go into that store and just buy all kinds of random bits and bobbles, odds and ends, whatever it is, just to keep building the relationship with the essay. Some people go in and buy the sandals. They might buy scarves, jewelry, things like that. It usually takes that person who's buying those little things, those little odds and ends, a much longer time to get the bag than someone else who's just going in and buying super expensive items. But let me continue. You have to go to the same sales associate every time you go into the store and purchase stuff from them so they get commission. And it's only until that sales associate decides if they are ready to offer you the opportunity to purchase a Birkin bag. Do you see how I worded it? I worded it like that for a reason. I gave the dramatic pauses for a reason because that's exactly what it is. You have to constantly shell out money to a sales associate only for that sales associate to then say, okay, they've spent $20,000. Fine, I'll offer them a Birkin bag. And sometimes it's $20,000 is not enough. I'll wait until they hit 50K. Sometimes it's 70. You never know. And that's why it's such a great marketing tactic on their end, on the end of Hermès, but why it's insane that someone would put themselves through this. I mean, the amount of people that are online shucking and jiving to be offered a Birkin bag, I can't relate. But also, let me just preface by saying this. I have been in the fashion industry for a very long time. And in the fashion industry, I have access to Birkins. And I fear that when you have access to a thing, you don't want it the same way someone who's on the outside looking in. Okay, let's go back to the offer. Once you've spent enough money and that essay decides, okay, I can finally offer this person a Birkin bag, the essay will decide what color to give you. You don't get to pick your own color. Did you know that? You don't even get to pick your own color of the Birkin bag that you want after spending upwards of $50,000 to be offered the opportunity to buy one. They may bring you out something orange and you don't like orange. And you know what happens? So many people, because they've played the game for so long, feel intimidated and they feel like they can't say no. They think if they say no, they'll never get another offer. So they just take whatever the hell bag they're offered. Crazy work. Crazy work. Genius marketing, but crazy work. Now, here's what's really going on. There are two types of people in this world. The person who makes owning a Birkin bag their entire personality, and the badass, boss-ass person who owns a Birkin bag. You see the difference? One person is buying it because they need public validation. The other person is buying it because they just want the bag, and they could really care less. Now, you have to decide which one you are. I'm going to tell you what it's like for people outside of the internet to get a Birkin bag, and the fact that they don't have to jump through all of those hoops. They were offered the Birkin bag with very little spend. By very little spend, I mean, if they've spent $5,000 with a sales associate, with the essay, that's it. Nothing more than that. Whereas other people are made to spend $50,000. So let's dissect the two. Why is it that some people can only spend $5,000 and get offered a Birkin, where others have to spend $50,000 before they're offered a Birkin? And the answer is quite obvious. If you're walking into Hermès with pick-me energy, with the energy of you desperately need this bag, you don't care what you have to do to get said bag, that essay sees you coming and will milk you dry. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? The sales associate, also keep in mind, only makes commission off of everything other than a Birkin bag. Now that's crazy work on behalf of Hermès. The sales associate does not make commission on a Birkin bag. So the sales associate, if they know they've got a hook on the line, if they know they got a fish on the hook, they know they can milk you dry. They know you're going to spend your last dollar to get this bag because they recognize the sense of insecurity in you. They can tell that you're not just buying the bag because you love the bag. You're buying the bag because it's a status symbol, and because you need to feel accepted, and because you need to feel validated. That essay is going to milk you dry. That's why you're going to spend $50,000 to get the bag. However, all the girls that I know in real life that are not online, who got the bag offered for less than $5K, their energy when they walked in the store is, I could take it or leave it. I'm fine either way. If I get the bag, I get it. If I don't, I don't. And those are the women that get the bag faster. Also, occupation plays a huge part in how fast you're going to be offered a Birkin bag. If you're an online personality, they're going to make you wait as long as humanly possible. They don't want their bags to be associated with influencers and all of that. They would prefer their bags be considered upper echelon. Business owners, doctors, lawyers, anything that's not in the world of posting content on a regular basis, all of those people are offered a Birkin bag so much faster. And that's just the truth. Listen, don't get mad at me in the comments. I don't make the rules, but I am in the fashion industry, so I can tell you what it really is. And what you're seeing online with people saying you have to spend a certain amount to get offered the bag is completely untrue. They only do that to people they don't want carrying the bag. Allegedly, because I just want to keep saying that because for safety reasons, I'm going to say allegedly. People with pick-me energy are going to have a hard time getting that bag. And that's just the truth. Think of it like this. Deserving energy draws things to you. Desperate energy pushes them away. That's with anything in life. Anything you want in life. If your energy is deserving, it's going to come. But if you're moving on desperation, it's going to take you so much longer to accomplish the thing you're trying to accomplish. Now let's go even further. The mind fuck behind the brand saying, if you spend a certain amount of dollars, I will offer you the opportunity to buy a bag, is crazy work. And I don't understand for the life of me anyone who'd be okay with someone saying that to them. You can never say that to me. Finally, you spent $30,000 so I can offer you the opportunity to buy. Get the fuck out of here. Get all the way the fuck out of here, okay? What are you saying? Are you serious? That in and of itself is extremely problematic. And not to be harsh, but if you're okay with a brand saying something like that to you, that is something that we need to look at. Well, we don't. That is something that may need to be unpacked. Because again, here we're all about telling the story through your wardrobe that you want to tell through the world, right? So over here, we're decoding the psychology of fashion because there's psychology attached to everything you do, wear, and purchase. Either you want people to think a certain way about you, feel a certain way about you, or you could care less. But here's the real gag. Most people, and I'm not going to say all, I'm going to say most people who are playing the Birkin game to get the bag because they feel it's a status symbol, which it is. Most people in that scenario want to appear to be rich. Because if you have a Birkin bag, people know that they cost around $10,000 in store. You can't be broke to buy a Birkin bag. Well, some people are. Some people will spend that last 10K on that Birkin bag, but that's another conversation for another day. But the consensus is you make a lot of money because you can afford to carry this bag. But what's interesting is that a Birkin bag only looks rich to someone who is poor. You're only going to look rich to someone who has less than you. That's it. You're not going to look rich to someone who's actually rich, because a person who's actually rich, who's wealthy, don't see the Birkin bag as a status symbol the same way someone who's new to the world of Hermès may see the bag. Wealthy women have since moved on from Birkin bag. Once it became a status symbol, wealthy women stopped carrying the Birkin, stopped caring about it, want nothing to do with it. You guys know that I'm a union costume designer for film and television, and I'm also a celebrity stylist. Within that, I also have billionaire clients. My billionaire clients would not be caught dead carrying a Birkin or wearing anything from Hermès. You want to know why? It's oversaturated. It's considered lowbrow at this point. I'm not telling you not to carry a Birkin. You can do whatever you want to do. I'm here to tell you how it's perceived. I fear a lot of people don't understand how they're truly being perceived by the way they dress. So poor people are definitely going to think you're rich. Rich and wealthy people are going to assume you had to play the Birkin game. So therefore, they're going to assume you have no access, which would also be true. Therefore, they're going to assume you need the status symbol and you need people to think that you're rich. Therefore, they're going to assume you're really not that rich. You see my point? It doesn't give the way you think it gives, babe. That's what I really want us to understand as far as that Birkin, as far as this whole Birkin conversation is concerned. I really want us to release ourselves from the shackle of needing that Birkin. If you just love the bag and you want it, get it. But I'm gonna tell you something. If you want this bag to look rich, you want to look like that girl, you need to skip that basic Birkin altogether and go straight to the exotics. Get an exotic Birkin. Get a limited edition Birkin. Get one that no one else will have. That's how you look rich. That is what's going to attract the wealthy women. You come in with that, yeah, they're looking. But the basic Birkin says nothing. There's so many fakes around anyway, no one cares. And to be quite honest, something you guys may not know, a lot of very rich women carry fake Birkins because they could care less. They're laughing all the way to the bank. They're like, I am not spending $10,000 and $15,000 on this silly little bag that everyone has when I can spend $1,000 on a super fake. They're called super fake. The rich women aren't buying them from like Canal Street or the Alley. They have a whole inside world and they're buying super fakes. Do I know how to get them? Yes. Will I tell you how to get them? Absolutely not. That's not my ministry. But that's what the girls are doing. The Upper East Side women in New York, they're not wasting their money on a Birkin. Are you serious? No, absolutely not. I'll tell you what the super rich, wealthy Upper East Side women do. They invest in ready-to-wear, expensive ready-to-wear. You see, some people seem to focus on shoes and bags only when they're entering their fashion world. But rich and wealthy women, they don't really care about the shoes and bags the same way that they care about the ready-to-wear. The pants, the shirts, the blazers. And yes, some still will carry Birkin bags. But to be honest, they haven't been in style for a very long time. And the fashion it girls, the real fashion it girls, do not carry Birkin bags. Carrie Bradshaw didn't carry a Birkin bag. Now, if we bring it into the real world, Rihanna, fashion it girl, does not carry a Birkin bag. Who else? There's not a lot of people that I consider to be fashion it girls. To be a fashion it girl, you really don't care what people think about you. You don't follow trends. You set trends. And that's a scary place to be because most people don't want to start with something because they fear it won't be accepted. So most people need to wait for everybody else to do a thing before they do it first. So if you are in a position where you want to play the Birkin game, you don't mind the conversation of when you spend a certain amount, I will offer you the opportunity to buy this Birkin. I would love for you to ask yourself, why? Ask yourself why. Is it because you really love the bag that much? Or is it that you need to feel accepted? And if you need to feel accepted, that's okay. No one's faulting you for that. But I would love for you to try to figure out why. We can't keep living the same cycles in life. We have to get to a point where we're evolving and growing. Your fashion tells the world everything they need to know about you. And if you love content like this, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And I will see you next week.